What if everything society taught you about being good was secretly making you weak? Picture this. You have been playing by rules designed to keep you small, while true power lies in rewriting the game entirely. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this trap more clearly than anyone. His philosophy was not about thinking differently. It was about becoming something radically new. Here is the brutal truth about strength you have been avoiding. Nietzsche watched European society crumble under comforting lies. People clung to religious promises of heavenly rewards while decaying in quiet resentment. He saw weakness celebrated as virtue, compliance mistaken for morality, and he asked one explosive question. What if our entire value system was built by those unable to succeed trying to pull achievers down? This is where slave morality begins. Let us break this down. Slave morality starts when the weak convince the world their limitations are actually strengths. Patience becomes better than ambition. Humility overpowers pride. Suffering gets rebranded as noble. Why? Because those who cannot win change the rules. They turn resentment into a weapon. They make power itself seem evil. Think about religious doctrines promising rewards for the meek, or contemporary culture that rewards blame shifting over accountability. Nietzsche called this priestly vengeance, the ultimate strategy of the powerless. By demonizing natural drives like ambition and desire, they make their own shortcomings appear righteous. But here is the harsh reality. This mindset poisons potential. Resentment is not just anger. It is internalized rage that corrodes your spirit. Nietzsche described it as a toxic response to seeing others thrive while you stagnate. Instead of building your own path, you criticize those climbing theirs. You tell yourself their success is unfair. Their confidence is arrogance. Their joy is unearned. Every justification becomes another shackle. Modern society runs on this poison. Digital platforms amplify petty jealousies into moral crusades. Self-identified victims gain status through tearing down achievers. We have built industries around comforting weakness rather than challenging growth. Nietzsche predicted this centuries before social media existed. Where other philosophies try to cure resentment with kindness or fairness, Nietzsche goes further. He says resentment is not a problem to solve but a weakness to eliminate. You do not negotiate with this fragility. You destroy it through relentless self-mastery. How? By embracing what he called will to power. Not control over others, but absolute command of self. Will to power is not about wealth or status. It is that primal drive to expand your capabilities. The athlete breaking through pain barriers. The creator sacrificing comfort for art. The visionary risking everything on an idea. Nietzsche saw this energy as sacred. Your ultimate duty is to relentlessly upgrade your potential. Society fears the will to power because it reveals uncomfortable realities. Winners create advantages. Preparation meets opportunity. Success demands focused intensity. While slave morality preaches equality, Nietzsche demands earned worth. This seems harsh, until you understand that real empowerment comes from developing capability. Victimhood dies when will to power awakens. Every obstacle becomes potential energy. That difficult boss becomes resistance training. That financial setback becomes ingenuity fuel. That betrayal becomes wisdom about trust. Nietzsche demanded transformation of poison into propulsion. This brings us to Amor Fati. Love your fate, not passive acceptance, not forced positivity, but fierce appreciation for everything that shaped you. Your pains, your failures, your humiliations. Nietzsche argued true power comes from viewing your darkest moments and declaring, "I needed that." No blame, only transformative acceptance of reality as your greatest teacher. Imagine two survivors of childhood trauma. One complains endlessly about unfairness. The other uses pain as motivation to protect others. Same wound, different relationships with destiny. Amor Fati is not about excusing harm. It is about transforming scars into armor. Your history becomes propulsion rather than prison. This shift annihilates victimhood. Nietzsche lived his philosophy. Chronic illness destroyed his health. Academic rejection isolated him. Mental collapse tormented his final years. Yet from this suffering came his greatest works. He did not just endure fate, he embraced its brutal lessons. His famous words, "What does not kill me makes me stronger," were not platitudes. They were battle-tested truth. Now the ultimate challenge, the Übermensch. This was never about racial superiority as some later distorted. Nietzsche's ideal was the self-created individual. Someone who shatters inherited values and forges new ones. Free from resentment, free from crowd-pleasing, free from fear of judgment. Becoming Übermensch requires maximum tension between current self and potential, daily death and rebirth. How does someone become Übermensch? First, practice radical self-ownership. No more blaming parents, society, or circumstance. Your excuses become confinement. Second, reject herd mentality. Society will call your ambition greed, your boundaries cruelty, your confidence arrogance. Let them. Third, experiment constantly. Test limits in career, relationships, and thought until discovering personal truth. This path offers no comfort. You will outgrow friends who prefer complaint to growth. Find meaning in struggles others pity. Discover insights in solitude that social people never grasp. Nietzsche knew this well. His ideas were born in isolation. His breakthroughs came when he stopped seeking approval. The Übermensch is forged in private crucibles of self-confrontation. Consider modern society dangerous lie. That safety brings happiness. Comfort is the real trap. Growth requires voluntary struggle. Learning complex skills hurts. Building businesses risks failure. Speaking truth loses approval. Nietzsche called this life-affirming suffering, pain with purpose, struggle by choice. Without it, you decay gently into irrelevance. Look how avoidable suffering dominates modern existence. Mindless scrolling replaces creating, talking about change without acting. Political outrage substituted for local action. We have become experts at managing misery rather than pursuing meaning. Nietzsche's solution was devastatingly simple. Replace complaint with creation. Turn frustration into fuel. Let ambition incinerate self-pity. Notice how Nietzsche gets misrepresented. He did not despise compassion. He despised pity that traps people in weakness. True support empowers growth rather than coddles limitation. Think demanding coach versus overprotective parent. Society, needs more people who believe in human potential, more than human excuses. Nietzsche's darkest prophecy, the last man. This is his vision of humanity's possible future. Beings who choose comfort over growth, risk nothing, dream nothing, trade passion for security. They exist but do not live. You find last men everywhere today. People using ideologies to escape responsibility, hiding in groups to avoid standing out. Resisting last man existence requires perpetual revolution, against convenience, against complacency, against dogma. Grow at the edge of chaos where transformation occurs. Question every inherited belief. Reverse engineer every assumption. Nietzsche cared nothing for political correctness, only for authentic truth. The ultimate rebellion is independent thought. Speaking truth. Embracing Nietzsche means outgrowing many relationships. People invested in your old self will resist your evolution. They will call you arrogant, cold, unreasonable, classic slave morality tactics. Real strength means loving others while refusing to shrink for their comfort. Some will rise with you, others will fade. This is not cruelty. It is necessary evolution. Addressing the big objection. Is this not selfish? Ayn Rand narcissism. Here is Nietzsche's answer. The strongest people elevate humanity by becoming fully realized. Michelangelo did not paint the Sistine Chapel by committee. Marie Curie did not democratize radiation research. By pursuing excellence, they expanded human potential. False altruism creates dependence. True strength creates legacy. Nietzsche did not expect mass Übermensch transformation. His philosophy serves as X-ray vision, revealing cultural illusions. Once you see slave morality, it appears everywhere. Advertisements equating consumption with happiness. Political movements sacrificing freedom for security. Awakened, you face two choices: live in truth or comfortable lies. Imagine applying this daily. Facing challenges, you ask what develops strength rather than relieves discomfort. Resisting the snooze button builds discipline. Difficult conversations train integrity. Financial losses teach value. Each moment tests commitment to growth over ease, until courage becomes automatic. Warning: this path illuminates uncomfortable truths about your past, moments you chose safety over growth, blamed others instead of leading, pursued approval over purpose. Nietzsche requires ruthless self-honesty without self-loathing. The point is not regret, but recognizing every previous weakness prepared you for current strength. Forgive past selves as steps toward becoming. Modern culture encourages extended adolescence. Adult children subsidized by parents. Nietzsche counters with eternal recurrence. Imagine reliving your life eternally. Each choice repeated forever. Would you dread monotony or thrill at meaning? This thought vaporizes trivial pursuits, focuses on what deserves repetition, what legacy endures beyond you. The final trap: understanding intellectually but lacking will to act. Nietzsche knew this. Insight without embodiment is worthless. Reading changes nothing. Only consistent action towards self-mastery brings transformation. Despite pain and isolation, Nietzsche wrote relentlessly. His example says no excuses. Create through struggle. Think through doubt. Become despite resistance. Where do you begin today? Identify invisible cages. Who profits from your smallness? What stories keep you dependent? Reclaim language. Stop calling necessary challenges unfair. Start naming comfort as betrayal of potential. Choose one domain to apply will to power: fitness, finances, creativity. Let focused effort teach you authentic strength. What if everything society taught you about being good was secretly making you weak? Now you know the reality. Nietzsche brought philosophy not to comfort but to awaken, to ignite that disgust with mediocrity within you. Slave morality or self-mastery, resentment or amor fati. The Ubermensch is not distant. It is who you become when you stop asking permission to live fully. Becoming strong is necessary, because as only those who listen understand. Be strong, or be nothing.